this video, you're going to learn the 5 most important mistakes that e-commerce brands are making during sale periods, which cost them thousands of dollars in sales. I'm going to break down exactly what these mistakes are, and I'm going to show you how you can avoid them so you hit your highest revenue months, but more importantly, hit record profit months as well. These are all super common mistakes that I see brands making, but the most important is the last one, so stick around for that. Let's get straight into it. So the first mistake is running a site-wide discount on everything on your website, including your best-selling items. Now, this is a big mistake and it kills profit because you're discounting products that were already selling well. That's why they're your best-selling products. Best-selling products do not need a discount to sell. You're just training customers to wait for a discount, and that's a really bad thing to do for your brand. I actually learned, I was at the Klaviyo Sydney event, and there was a woman called Carla that was speaking, and she spoke about how if you run a 20% discount on your website, that actually leads to a 59% drop in your margin. And what that actually means in practice is that if you run a 20% discount, you need to sell about 50% more units to make the same amount of profit as you did if you didn't have a discount. Now, this is not a crazy statement to make, right? Because most of the time when you run discounts, you do have those big revenue months, but you need to work out the numbers and really make sure that you're hitting the revenue numbers that will lead to increased profit. Now, just to show you this example a bit better, this is a base financial model of just a business that makes about $100,000 a month in sales. They have an average order value of $100 per product. Let's assume their COGS and variable costs are about $40 per unit. Let's say COGS is about $30. Let's say they got $10 of other variable costs. And let's say their marketing expenses are fixed along with a bunch of other fixed expenses as well. This business does $30,000 a month in profit. Now, if we introduce a 20% off discount, what that actually means is that now we increase sales by 50%, but there is a discount of 20% on the new sales, right? So $150,000 of raw gross revenue without discount. And then if we factor in the discount, we actually end up getting $120,000. But because we've sold more units, our COGS has increased as well. So in this situation, we want to discount our highest margin products, but most importantly, we don't want to sell out of these units on products that we have limited stock in, and that's our best selling. So the biggest risk in running big sales is selling out of our best selling products, because then in future months, now we don't have anything to sell. Like, what are people coming to us for? They're not going to come to us for our, lower value products. So when we run a sale, what the smart brands actually do is they focus discounts on the slower moving items. They don't discount the best sellers. And if they do, then they actually use some kind of bundling strategy where they bundle a best selling item with a slow moving item, just so during these months, they make more revenue, but they're also clearing stock, which has just been sitting around for years or months or whatever. This allows you to preserve your brand whilst also giving genuine value to your customers. Now, mistake number 2 is sending very few email campaigns. So below is just some screenshots of the Klaviyo of some brands that run sale campaigns that we've helped. You can see they're all making thousands and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. But one thing I really want you to pay attention to is the percentage of revenue from Klaviyo. And you can see for a lot of them, it's anywhere from 30 to 50% revenue from Klaviyo during sale periods. Now, what that actually means is that a substantial portion of people that purchase during these sale periods are already on your email database. You don't need to pay Meta to target these people, right? The cheapest way for you to get in front of them is just sending additional campaigns. Klaviyo is a fixed cost. You're already paying for it. There is no incremental cost in just sending additional campaigns during sale periods. You're not going to annoy people, right? You have a database, and I think a big reason why people don't want to email their list too frequently is because they don't want to annoy people. However, during sale periods, people are getting emails from everywhere, and the best reason to email someone is to give them a discount. Everyone loves a discount, right? The reason we don't send discounts often is because it ruins our brand. But during these sale periods, you can send discounts, right? You can get in front of people saying, hey, we're running a discount. This is a limited time thing. We really want you to not miss out. Here's an email for you. There's a few examples of recently that I just looked at. Brand A, we send about 8 campaigns a month for the sale that they're running this year for end of financial year. We sent 7 campaigns over the course of 12 days. Massively increased volume. We only do this during big sale periods because we really don't want to annoy the audience, but during sale periods, it's okay because it's a good reason. Brand B, normal cadence of 6 campaigns a month. We sent 5 in 8 days for their sale. So it's not an issue. Send more campaigns during sale periods. Mistake number 3 is confusing discounts in your flows and pop-ups. Rule number 1 to fix this mistake is make sure your pop-up and flow discounts match your sale period discounts. You don't want a customer coming to your site for a 20% off deal that they saw on an ad, and then they get hit with a welcome pop-up, which offers 10% off, and then, they go into cart and they abandon, and they get an abandoned cart email, which offers 15% off. That's really bad. At best, it will cause confusion, which might slightly lower your conversion rate, but at worst, you could have it set up so that both of these discounts stack. So your ads discount offers a 20% off, and then someone does a 10% off on top of that with the welcome discount, and that actually ends up being unprofitable for you. So monitor these discounts, monitor your abandoned cart discounts, monitor your welcome series discounts, make sure they don't stack, and just make sure the messaging is right when someone comes to your website during a sale period. Rule number 2 is do not turn off your abandoned cart flows. Best practice is to make custom flows for sale periods which have the right consistent messaging. However, if you don't have time to do that, just turn off the emails that give discounts because abandoned carts do recover carts and you are losing a lot of money by just turning off your abandoned cart flows. Mistake number 4 is not excluding buyers from your email campaigns. Now, imagine you bought a MacBook for $2,000 and then 2 days later after you bought the item, you get an email saying that you can now buy that for $1,500. Would you not feel slightly cheated? Of course you would. So 99% of the time, people do not buy multiple times during a sale. So if someone buys from you during that sale, exclude them from any future campaigns that you send. This is especially true if you have an increasing discount as the sale goes on. So if you have an early access sale for, let's say, 15% off, and then you increase that to 20%, and then in the last couple of days you increase it to 25%, you absolutely want to exclude everyone that's purchased in the early access sale and the 20% sale from the 25% off sale. Now look, some people may buy multiple times during the sale, but that extra tiny bit of revenue is not worth ruining your perception with the 99% of people that will only buy once during a sale period. Now, mistake number 5 is limiting your emails to just your active subscribers. The number 1 determinant of email revenue is how many people you send to. If you send to more people, if you send to a list of 50,000 people, you're going to make more revenue than if you send to a list of 10,000 people. Very, very simple concept. Now, the reason we don't send to a full list of 50,000 people is because let's say 40,000 of those people aren't that interested and most likely aren't going to open the emails that we send. And so if we send to them consistently, it's going to hurt our deliverability in the long run. Now, this is completely wrong during sale periods because if there's people that aren't interested in what we're saying, the one thing that will get them reinterested is a discount or a big sale. So when we're running big sales like Black Friday, like end of financial year sales, we want to hit everyone. We want to hit everyone at least once or twice. And then we can send the remaining campaigns to the active segment. Now, that being said, deliverability will be fine if most of your campaigns open above 40%. If you send to the full list and you have 1 or 2 that reduce below that to, let's say 25%, it's not the worst thing in the world. Just send 1 or 2 campaigns. I promise you, these will probably be your most highest performing campaigns, and it will help you win back customers that have probably churned from you in the past. Now, that's the first step. The next level above this is actually unsuppressing your entire email list and sending your sale announcement to everyone on that list. The single best way to win back a customer is to give them a discount. And so when you run a big discount, right, your Black Friday sale campaigns or your Black Friday sale discounts are supposed to be bigger than anything else you run. Your end of financial year campaigns are supposed to be a slightly bigger discount than any other point in the year. So these are the chances for you to use to actually win back people that have churned from your brand. So unsuppress your entire list, pay the increased Klaviyo bill temporarily for that 1 month, but send your campaign out to 2 or 3 times as many people for 1 or 2 campaigns only. And then once they've been sent, suppress your profiles again. Worst case here, the customer that's churned is still gone and you can just suppress them again. Best case, you win back some new subscribers that you wouldn't have targeted otherwise. That's all I had for you today. If you found that helpful, we are an email marketing agency that runs the Klaviyo for about 50 brands around the world. These are some of the clients that we've worked with. This is some of the work that we've made for those clients. This is the revenue results that we've helped brands make during sale periods. So if you need help with your email marketing, you can book a call directly with me below and you can see if we can help.